I swear I hit the record button earlier. All right.
Jesus Christ.
The stream is going, but I'm limited as far as what I can clip later. We're
We've
good.
been talking for 4 days and you didn't record any of it.
It's been 20 minutes, I think. All right. Welcome to the Rowdy Bros podcast. This is the start of the recording. My bad.
4 days.
Just to catch everybody up right now, Troy and I are talking about day 2. We went over our thoughts on the Caleb Downs draft pick. Troy doesn't believe in him very much. I do, just to give a bit of a recap there. We haven't talked about Malachi Lawrence yet. I do want to get your thoughts on him a little later. But for now, we'll go ahead and get back into what we're doing right now, which is a live reaction to us looking at picks for day 2.
That's right. You're going to react to us reacting.
Have fun with that. So we got Dejon Stribling, wide receiver, Ole Miss. I don't know. I have no idea if I pronounced his name correctly. I hope someone
I think
will.
you got Stribling correct.
I'm pretty sure Dejon's correct too.
It's actually Stribling.
Stribling. Long eye. I like
Stribling could be like the new Straubling.
All right. So the intangibles, he's coming in at 6'2", 207. So he's a bit of a mid-size guy. I really don't know a lot about him, but I know Ole Miss's offense was pretty exciting last year, and for him to be drafted this early, he had to have been a pretty big part of that.
These 49ers rarely miss too, and even the guys they miss on, they tend to get the most out of them. I think it's a new defensive coordinator this year because I think they had what's the bald guy in the Titans? He's a good coach, but he's just a defensive coordinator. Robert Saleh, yeah, he's pretty awesome. I like him as a person. I like the Hard Knocks.
He's really great. I do love me some Robert.
But man, offensively teams are going to struggle. Although I do like the Titans with the Dayball pairing there. Anyways, that's to say, I think the Niners will get the most out of this guy regardless. Especially they kind of have a vacuum at receiver this year. Right, we got Mike Evans coming in, but Pearsall is inconsistent with injuries, and so is Mike Evans.
Right,
Brandon Ayuk is out of there. Not a whole lot going on. Juwan Jennings left too. And speaking of getting the most out of nobody, Juwan Jennings, I think he's a smart player, but what are we talking about athletic-wise? He's big, but
you have no belief in Juwan Jennings as an individual player. You think he was?
I think he's a product of the situation and the Shanahan offense.
Okay.
So, I mean, Kittle's going to be out too for at least a little bit. I think some people are saying week 1 he's back, but a torn Achilles out late in the season. Modern medicine's
Jason Tatum was back pretty fast, and if he got the Jason Tatum treatment, he'll probably be back all right. Yeah, I mean, granted, he plays a little bit more demanding of a position on your Achilles tendon. All respect to Jason Tatum and what basketball players have to do as far as running and jumping and cutting and the quick cuts being what they are is why Achilles tendons are so prominent there. Kittle's going to have to try to move 300-pound men on that. You know what I mean? So it's a lot of what basketball players do is not being done in football, and the load bearing on it is what I would be concerned with. So week 1 return, in my mind, having gone through a torn Achilles personally, I believe would be pretty premature. But dude, these guys are crazy. The stuff they can do with the doctors and the access they have to whatever they've got.
On top of
fast now.
So on top of all of that, their leading target, their actual wide receiver 1, Christian McCaffrey, is also going to be, at least according to Shanahan, more limited this year. I still think he catches 5 a game. I don't think they run him 20 times a game until this gets to be about playoff time and they're competing.
Right.
So, and they did add a running back, I think, already. I need to see who they drafted, but I think he went.
So they didn't draft in the first round. They traded back a
Yeah.
few times to get this pick.
I just heard the name too. 49ers day 2 picks.
So you're saying they drafted one later on?
I'm pretty sure they took a running back as well to help bolster that running back room. Probably around 3.
Did round 3 happen today? Oh yeah.
Yeah. Day 2 is always round 2, round 3. Man, I
So
can't believe Carson Beck went this early too.
they drafted
Kalen Black. Yeah, that dude's like a dark horse this year in running backs. Okay, so he was not being drafted in most of the best ball contests. Nobody was taking him. I think I have one share of him like on accident, maybe. And
Wait, who is that?
Kalen Black. So he was like Indiana had 2 main running backs this last year, Roman Hemby and Kalen Black. And I only know this because I just started paying attention during the national title run. I bet Indiana to win it all like 3 rounds away from the championship or something. So there was like way better odds for a clear favorite, right? All they needed to do is clear Miami at the end. But so anyway, so we got Kalen Black and he's been going around doing like workouts. He wasn't invited to the combine, but a lot of people consider him snubbed. He split time at Indiana, and there weren't like a power running school anyways because everything went through Mendoza.
Well, 10, 210. That dude's pretty big. Yeah.
Yeah. So he's considered a really good athlete, a very smart player, even though he did get snubbed from the combine, which traditionally means like you're not very good, right? Or at least not considered an elite prospect. But the 49ers spot, I mean, we saw Isaac Orendo be amazing, which is why I drafted him 30% the year after because he's going around 19 and he did absolutely nothing. That's why I took so much of him, so he could do nothing. But that 49ers backup spot, I mean, you can almost always guarantee 2 spike weeks throughout the season. One, just because of McCaffrey maintenance. And then if he, of course, it is all the contingency value in the world because he's playing for Shanahan. So that system alone, that you can get the wrong runner in it, but almost anybody who suits up for the Niners in that backfield will take off. And his only other competition is Jordan James, who was like a kind of like I make the comp to Bucky Irving, but that's probably mostly because they both played at Oregon together. But same sort of style of runner to me. They're decent in the pass game, generally just a good running back, but they're not like super dominant. So in other words, Slim Pickens a competition behind a older McCaffrey. Maybe it can be something, right? But nobody was taking him, so nobody even knew, like nobody in for like best ball and stuff like that is gonna be able to capitalize. Or very few people. And weak competition. So yeah, I like these 2 moves for the Niners overall. I don't think they're getting any younger on defense. They got injured a lot last season on defense, particularly. And Shanahan had the whole team basically sacrificing various body parts to McCaffrey's knees to keep them together the whole season, including Kittle. He was willing to sacrifice Kittle for McCaffrey, which is pretty wild.
It's McCaffrey. All right. Yeah. So to your point there, they're not getting any younger on defense. They just did. They did draft an edge rusher in round 2 at pick 69.
Nice.
We got I don't know if it's Romelo or Romeo Height. It's definitely Height, but he's 6'3", 239 out of Texas Tech, and Texas Tech's defense this year was pretty solid. I think you've already touched on it. The Niners don't miss a lot in their drafts, and when they do, they're at least able to utilize their players to their maximum potential.
Yeah.
To your point earlier, they were not getting any younger on defense, and they did have a few injuries last year that were pretty worrisome, and over the last few years. But yeah, this is pretty solid. I like it for them. I don't like it for us because anytime the Niners are good, it's a bad time for the Cowboys.
And I saw who they traded to get that pick, and yeah, I just knew we got even if we ended up winning the picks, some like in prospect, I know we still lost this trade somehow because it was to the Niners, and we consistently get outsmarted. It's like
No. Do you think they sold on a guy who's not really good?
I don't know. I'm suspicious. I'm just suspicious.
I'm not suspicious. I think we gave them something they wanted, and we needed a bit of help at that position. And they probably just wanted to be able to have a little bit more control over a contract. I don't know what D's contract is, but I can go ahead and check that out.
D's who? D's
No,
D Winter. That's right,
no,
D Winter.
no. We're not doing that.
No.
All right, so it's a George Pickens situation. He's got 1 year left on his contract, but we're putting him in a similar situation to what he was seeing in San Francisco. Across well, I don't want to put Demarion Overshown in the conversation with Fred Warner because he's quite frankly not that good yet. But I do see the ceiling on Overshown being Fred Warner-esque. So
what
giving
Fred
him a
Warner
really good
brings in
player to
that.
work with on the other side. I think he can benefit a lot from not only Overshown, but from Quinnen Williams and Kenny Clark being real anchors up front.
Yeah.
And now with I think we drafted an edge rusher from Michigan, if I'm looking correctly, in the third round.
Malachi Lawrence, I think.
Oh, well, that was in the first round. But
Gotcha.
in the third round, we also drafted a edge rusher, Jonathan Barham out of Michigan. And he was a bit of a hybrid guy. It says he was able to play off-ball linebacker, but he was majority edge rusher.
Sean, sorry, Jesus
Sean Barham.
Sean Barham. Yeah, Jay Schwan, Jesus Christ.
You got to open your eyes, brother.
This Dick Slowly just gets me,
That's probably going to be clipped. All right. Here we go.
All right. Here we go.
What was it that Jerry said? He's the daddy.
He's the daddy. I don't know what that means. Don't have kids.
About to have one.
About to have one.
About to have one. All right.
Trying to see who else got
so
taken.
it says he's pretty powerful. He's got a lot of strength. I mean, it sounds like we're kind of just beefing up against the run, man. It seems like we're tired of getting ran on. And
yeah.
I mean, if he's a good pass rusher too, that's just icing on the cake. But I am a big fan of us being able to just get guys who can just do the work.
Yeah. I'm trying to think through like who how do we finish last year? It was second place in the division or third?
Yeah, it's second in the division. And if we're being objective about the offseason, Philly got worse and Washington got marginally better. I'm intrigued by New York.
Yeah.
I don't know why they passed on Caleb Downs and went offensive. I mean, I know why you go offensive line. You want Scadaboo and Jackson Dart to have a really solid protection in front of them, have holes opened up, have a few seconds to throw the football. But they need a lot of help in a lot of areas. So I feel like it would have been beneficial for them to kind of just go best player available at the time and, run Caleb Downs as a New York Giant. But I'm glad they didn't because Miami wanted to do us a little bit of a favor. We did them a little bit of a favor, and we got our guy.
Slipped them a $5.
Two
$5 bills. That's
2 $5s.
Crisp, fresh.
Well, we literally traded him 2 5th-round picks.
Oh, that's even better.
Yeah. That was why when you said it, I thought you were all right. I'm glad I did it.
What a coincidence.
My joke. My pun now. Look at me. I am punny now.
Look at me. I am the joker now.
I am the punny one now.
I am just mexing now.
Oh, I don't like that. You ick-max me, bro.
You ick-max me. Well, you thick max.
All right, so at pick 34 in round 2, we got the Cardinals coming in. I like this a lot. They went offensive guard out of Texas
Hey,
A&M.
speaking of thick max, 6'5", 315 pounds.
It's a unit.
Yeah.
They drafted a unit, big dog. I'm a big fan of what Texas A&M did all of last season. So their offensive line, I'm going to be a big pick of whoever they picked off of them. Okay. This also just works really well with what they did in round 3 and round 1, taking Jeremiah Love and Carson Beck. I don't know if you're going to hand the reins over to Carson Beck right now. I assume you're going to make him try to fight for a job. But you drafted him in round 3. You're obviously not writing the kid off. But it makes sense. You go all 3 levels of the offense, and you have a solid receiver out in Marvin Harrison, so you feel pretty good about what they've got going on. There's a reason to be excited about being a Cardinals fan. Not a lot.
Trey McBride there too, right? And then Michael Wilson proved himself last year in the absence
wide receiver,
of
yeah. I like
and then
Michael
Harrison. I still kind of like Harrison. I don't think he's a dominant wide receiver one. I think he got a lot of hype, not just because of who his dad was, but he was like outside of Smith coming out of Ohio State this year. I think he's going to be the most like sought after prospect in the last like 4 years, right? Like, so I still think he's okay. But only when they force fed him the ball, and I don't think he's deserving of that with McBride and Wilson showing what he did last time. The Cardinals overall are pretty interesting. I think their defense is going to be pretty weak. New head coach from the Shanahan McVay tree or whatever, with LaFleur. Yeah, he got owned by the owner with Jeremiah Love pick. I'm sure who wants to pay $17 million to a running back when you have like holes everywhere else. And they just brought in Algier
in the next
and
round.
They made 3 running back moves basically outside of that. So now they're going to cut like Connor and they're not going to cut Connor. He's going to get like the first half of the season or something. But I just think that the offense is going to be a lot better. I don't know about the defense, and we'll see, man. I hate Carson Beck. I think he's going to be not a good NFL starter. But I was hearing a lot of talk about how he presented very well at interviews, especially with certain schemes, and that the Cardinals were a very good fit for him schematically. Or at least he demonstrated very good understanding of how to drive that offense. And I never thought he was a bad athlete. I just don't think the guy can pass very well. Like, that simple. I have a friend who's a Georgia Bulldogs fan, and his wife is a Miami Hurricanes fan. And so,
they both hate him.
Yeah, and Carson Beck like screwed him twice.
They both hate him. I get it.
I
get it. Yeah, no, I'm not
the guy. I think he's good. I think he's a good. I mean,
by no means am I a Carson Beck lover, but I do see a bit of his upside. I think his decision making at times is pretty poor. I don't think he's a bad thrower of the football. I just think he just needs to not throw it where he throws it sometimes.
Yeah,
like that dude is covered. Don't do that. But I don't know. I think with a real solid, legitimate NFL head coach and a really good quarterbacks coach, he can turn into a really good player. I saw a lot of upside. He obviously won a lot of games while he was in college. Yeah, he didn't get a ring or a little long trophy, but who wants that?
How's he going to win the longer trophy in the NFL?
Who wants a long
trophy? He couldn't even get like the short long trophy
in the NFL has like a football at the end of it. The long trophy in college football is just like a cylinder.
It's just a long.
It ends in an oval, but there's no football. I shouldn't call it an oval. It ends in a football shape, but it's just like a cone.
It's
like a
empty. It's
cylindrical.
hollow. It's void.
I'm sure it's not hollow, but like there's really like, what did I just win, bro?
I won the long.
A big stick, a big club, a
Yeah.
metal club.
You
I
can
don't
fill
like.
it with beer and drink out of it.
No, you can't. It's not. It's like flat topped, man. Unless it opens up, like that'd be really cool if it opened up and there was stuff in it. But like,
You can hold your lion cub on the tip of it.
I think if you open it, it's filled with like chocolate pudding. I heard.
That's surprising.
That's what I heard.
It's not
The
very
voice is in
refreshing
my
after
head,
a game, like a
but
snack pack. You want a snack pack after the game? I take it back. I could
except
do a
it's like
snack pack
a
after the game.
big trophy full of snack pack pudding. It's not sponsored by Snack Pack either. They were just
No,
really nice.
no.
They
No,
were just
because
really nice. They did this.
it would be like it'd be like the Hellman's mayonnaise bowl where they dunk the winning coach in the mayo or whatever, but with chocolate pudding instead.
I'd like the chocolate pudding dunk, but why are we dumping dudes in mayo, bro? Why people would
I'm embellishing only a little bit because the man didn't go into the mayo, but they brought the mayo to the man. It was actually kind of more disturbing. It was like waterboarding,
Did they
but with
grab like
mayonnaise.
one knife and just like spread it on his face?
With a butter knife or something.
Yeah.
Yeah, and then he put in
Like
a
he's
little
a
relish,
sandwich. And
some
then they put
dill. It was
2
just
pieces
delightful.
of bread on his face. And he
Yeah.
was a sandwich.
Nice sourdough with a good outside crust, but nice and
He's
soft
a
and warm.
head coach sandwich.
No, so they waterboarded him with mayo. Basically, they just dumped a big tub of mayo on this guy's head, and he's all psyched about it. He's like, yeah, it's like mayonnaise.
The visual I got was like they pinned him in the chair, right? And then no, and then straight mayo, like right over his face.
Yeah, basically why Guantanamo was made illegal is
off
mayonnaise
top. No,
boarding.
I don't want to
Mayo
get
boarding.
into
Mayo
I
boarding.
don't
It's
want to
right
get
there.
into
Mayo boarding.
that one's gross. Mayo bowl.
You really are a Hellman's.
Dude, I need to go to the Pop-Tart Bowl. I feel like that would be the best experience.
I want to eat the big Pop-Tart. I want a piece of that Pop-Tart.
I want a piece of the Pop-Tart too.
Yeah.
Can you believe
even
it's like
if
a real
cherry?
It's like
I'd take a piece.
What do you mean even if it's cherry? What's the
I'm crying. I'm crying.
I'm muting you. You're muted. Yeah. Yeah, how does that feel? Muted, boy. All right. You're unmuted now.
Considering my mouse is only working less than half the time, like muting is just permanent for me.
I know.
Consider it permanent.
I considered that. And I decided to do it anyway.
Man, we can't do this so late. I got nothing to say football wise. It's even more bullshit than usual.
That's fantastic. All right, so at pick 35, getting back into this, we got TJ Parker out of Clemson. He's an edge rusher going to the Buffalo Bills. I like it. Solid pickup. I don't know much about this guy, but I know that the Bills absolutely needed somebody to get after the passer.
Can you draft head coaches? That's who I would take. If I was the Buffalo Bills, I'd draft a head coach.
I don't think so. I don't know. Hey, Buffalo Bills, if you need one, I'm here. But
yeah. Draft
I don't know, man.
No, 101 overall.
But like as a coach, though, I really don't want to play. My knees can't handle it. That'd be rough.
I feel that every day, more and more.
More and more every day. Like I'm 30, bro. I'm tired. I can't believe you got me up at 1 doing this nonsense. But yeah, the Bills definitely needed somebody to get after the passer. It was kind of a rough season defensively, and they broke down really hard towards the end. They definitely needed some weapons on offense. I know they didn't draft in round 1. They kept trading back which is kind of weird because there were some really solid receivers on the board. I thought they'd really want one of them just because they need that.
Do you think they need it? But Joe Brady, right? Yeah. Uh, he worked with DJ Moore back in Carolina. And so them bringing in DJ Moore was to them kind of their marquee receiver. Now, what's funny about that is DJ Moore, at least in this stage of his career, is just another gadget guy, except he's got a little more juice to him and he can command targets.
DJ
But I
Moore's
don't
pretty
think
good.
I love DJ Moore. He just hurt me a lot last
He's
season.
pretty
I
solid.
finished 14th in the pit
You're
bowl because
jaded.
of DJ
You can't
Moore
be
getting sick with the
avoiding.
same flu that I got
No,
sick with.
no, no,
All I
no.
needed was him to score like 6 points. I would have won the 15 more grand, dude. Like, come on.
Dude, she moved on. Get over it.
When he dropped that touchdown, it was heartbreaking. It
Yeah,
was
I know.
heartbreaking.
It hurt me too. I like the guy. I'm a big
Heartbreaking.
fan.
All
I'm a
that's
big
to
fan
say,
since his
like their
Carolina
last
days when he was running mate with Curtis Samuel, man. And I still love Curtis Samuel too, even though he's not doing too much right
Samuel's a slot receiver, and that's exactly my point. Is that they've filled their roster for the last 2 years with nothing but slot receivers, and they keep doing it. And the only guy that was different is Keon Coleman, and he sucks. But they really tried to make him work.
Well,
And
you
maybe
have
he
to.
can
You
still bust
spent
out. He's still young and stuff, but like
a big
them
pick on
bringing in DJ Moore was a death knell to them, and they keep trying to get Shakir to go. I think Shakir's awesome for what
him.
he is, but he's another slot receiver. He's like the best version of a slot receiver, kinda. Like he can manufacture stuff. You can put him behind the line of scrimmage, and he can get out of that backfield for you. He can break some tackles. He plays very hard, but he's still very small, and he's not a big outside presence. They rely on their tight ends a lot, which is I think Kincaid's pretty good as a
Yeah,
receiver. He's
Knox
kind of
is
so-so
solid
as a
too.
blocker.
Knox is solid too when
No,
he's
I,
on two.
I like Knox, but Knox is one of these classic like tight end twos to block his ass off. He's going to put his guy on the ground. He's going to get his block, and he's
Right.
also going to catch a touchdown because he's going to sneak off to the flat, and you're going to forget that there's a 7-foot tall, well, like 6'6" or whatever.
Knox has a very Jason Witten type feel to him sometimes when I watch the Bills play.
And he's like Josh Allen's favorite guy on the team. So
makes sense.
yeah, or something like
I
that.
mean, Kincaid seems to be making a big case for himself.
He's their actual receiver one, I think. But DJ Moore is going to get okay, so if we actually try and map this out, it's going to be Josh Allen throwing somewhere between 220 to 270 a game. I can't see this defense getting pushed or lit up for like 30 points a game unless they get run on like they were last year.
Right.
But I think they're making moves to address that. We'll see. They continue to lean into the run.
Yeah.
Right. And so that's going to limit Josh Allen's opportunities. But can James Cook really sustain that much more for another year? They're going to try because I think what the Bills have been doing is limiting Josh Allen's liability as a passer for it not to make him make bad decisions. And it's been really awesome to watch because now Allen he's like an assassin. When he throws it, it hurts you. And he's better at these decisions. And he takes over games more meaningfully, and he's not hurt.
Well, I don't think quarterbacks like
playoffs.
Josh Allen need to be throwing 40 times a game anyway. I mean, like
that's you get to throw to when he does. Like DJ Moore, like I said, I think we're looking at 8 targets a game.
That's where I was going to
7 catches.
Yeah,
and I think he's going to be like 70 yards, and I think he's going to have a touchdown most games.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like it's one thing for a team like Dallas or Kansas City a few years ago to be doing this kind of stuff, but you had Tyreek Hill and Travis Kelce to throw to. You got to get some targets out there. And in Dallas, you had CeeDee Lamb, George Pickens, and Jake Ferguson all commanding wide receiver 1 targets, all needing those numbers. So it made sense for us to throw the ball for us to run a bit of a faster paced offense. But I do think the Bills, especially given that they play in just frigid cold weather half the season, and it's hard to throw in weather like that, you do probably want to run the ball a little bit more and make that the emphasis of your team. I would like to see them go running back at some point in this draft. But they had another pick here in the 3rd round. At the end, they drafted. Oh no, my bad. They had to pick in the 4th round. No, my bad. Was it 2 in the 2nd? Yeah, 2 in the 2nd. They drafted a cornerback out of Ohio State. So I think to your point, they needed to see a bit of an improvement on the defensive end, and by a bit of an improvement, I mean they're retooling for now. And I definitely like that decision for him, but I would like to see him help out a little bit on offense. Just more weapons. You need weapons.
Yeah, that hasn't been their philosophy. DJ Moore is a severe upgrade from Keon Coleman. I think he'll be lined up all over the place. But they, like I said, they have like 30 other slots plus a slot receiver in the tight end. And a running back who they refuse to make a pass catcher, which is just confusing as all hell with James Cook. Even though I think he'd probably be better at that than running between the tackles.
He seems to be at his most efficient when they're running stretches and counters.
The thing is, they still pass the ball to running backs. It's not that they don't; it's that they don't throw it to James Cook. They throw it to Ty Johnson instead. Like what?
Maybe they just believe in that old philosophy of one's our runner and one's our pass catcher.
They need to spell James Cook. Someone has to get some other work, but why not? Why not James Cook 4 targets, 5 targets every game? I don't see it.
Lower the workload in the running game and just have the targets in the passing game. It would keep teams guessing.
Just throw Ray Davis in there to gas. Like just throw him in there for the breathers, right? Like
right. So I think for Buffalo as a whole, they'd probably benefit just varying it up because I think teams are kind of looking to stack the box when James Cook is in the lineup.
Yeah.
Well,
now they can hopefully make it.
You're not going to hand the ball off to your backup running back. Actually, Buffalo, they might just hand the ball off to the backup running back. They do like to run the football over there.
Yeah. Oh, they would love to. They would just love to have their foot on your throat the entire game, and that's what they want to do.
I did notice a bit of an emphasis from Josh Allen on that as well. Taking not like I didn't see a lot of it on like 1st and 2nd down, but in really big 3rd down moments, he was able to get going and make some plays happen for his team. I'm a big fan of what he brings to the table, man. I'm a big Josh Allen fan.
I thought him. I think he can. The only knock I have against him, right? This is like against someone I consider at least physically the best like quarterback you could conceive of. But I don't think he plays the best, especially in big moments. Now that he's got a really good track record to say I'm wrong, it's just that this last Denver game, right, in the playoffs was just. It seems like he always wants to force it. Like he's so used to not having help and not having a defense that can just take over and win it outright for you. He's going to make that big throw or try to, and his receivers aren't good enough to make most of those 50-50 balls right now.
So
to say the least, and maybe he's playing the PI game, like pass interference with a lot of this stuff. But like maybe one was a great example of why even throw that interception like that late in the game. Why throw it that deep? You guys are driving just fine. You have plenty of time.
That guy was Des Bryant getting the ball knocked out of his hand on the way down away from it being a catch. Like Brandon Cooks, seriously, if he just maintains possession, that's a catch, and we're not even talking about this.
I think today's NFL, too, the PI game is real. The quarterbacks just know to throw it up.
I like the PI game, but I don't think that's what he was trying to do there. With Brandon Cooks especially, I think he was trying to give his guy a chance to come down with the ball. How sad
is it that when Brandon Cooks was catching his 3 passes a game, I knew that was going to be his go-to dude in that Denver game because here's someone I could rely on for 3 catches. Like Shakir's always going to get force fed. But I mean, like when Josh Allen needs it. Like quarterbacks always have that guy. Yeah. And like it was so obvious it was Brandon Cooks.
Well, I mean, he's got the track record, man. Brandon Cooks, everywhere he's been in the NFL, he's just been very good. Like,
yeah, but he's too old.
I didn't see too old on that, bro. Like he went up and got the ball. It's hard to come down with the ball when your back is getting knocked against the floor. And I get why people say that it was a catch, but if Dez dropped it, and by NFL ruling he did, then so did Brandon Cooks. Suck it, Bills fans. But
Yeah,
if the NFL wants to come out and change the result of that Green Bay game, I'll go ahead and say that Brandon Cooks caught that ball too. But
I've
trying to
always
get
liked
justice for Dez.
Brandon Cooks. I'm just saying it
I love
just
Brandon
continues
Cooks.
to show how sad the Bills receivers are just in general. But
No, I agree. I agree. Like I said, just more weapons out in Buffalo. I think that's really what they need.
and
But I
use
don't
them
blame
better
them for going defense either.
and use them better, right? But they're still a winning formula, still one of the AFC's top contenders. I just don't think Allen's ever going to win a big one, and I unfortunately think it's going to be his fault when it happens that they don't win.
You don't think the kicker will go wide left?
But we just saw Darnold win.
Was it wide right? Fuck me. Scott Norwood.
Well, I don't know. I
You
don't know if
don't
the
think
NFL
the
wants. I
quarterback
think
will
the
get him in
NFL likes
scoring
Josh Allen
position?
being like the Chicago Cubs, just like the perpetual losers.
Hey, the
But like
Chicago Cubs got one, dog.
finally, after 100 years,
With Chris Bryant and Kyle Schwarber.
if
Do you
Allen
think
plays for
Josh Allen is in the
90
middle
years, he
of
might
the
kill him.
Gambino curse? Like, what's the with the great? Well, no, theirs was like the goat or something. I forgot. I think they banned a goat from the stadium.
Yeah, they've been something like a Billy Goat or
Yeah, yeah,
yeah,
they banned the goat. Yeah, the Red Sox had the Babe Ruth curse. They broke
yeah.
that. Good for them.
Bambi, that wimpy deer.
No, not what I said. I
Did you
said
see the great Hambino?
the childish Gambino.
Ah, the childish Gambino.
Yeah.
I thought you were saying Lambino.
Yeah, one time I talked to him and I was like,
I
"You're my
just brought
favorite
in the
rapper," and he was
Lambino.
like,
Let's go
"Yeah, dude,
Kurt
I better
Freeze.
be." And I was like, "That's not cool, bro."
I know you and him were that close.
It was one time,
It was one
and
time.
it was in my head, so
Ah.
you know, it was kind of cool.
Are you a
All right.
lot cooler in your head?
No, I'm never cool in my head. So coming in at pick 36, we got defensive tackle out of Ohio State, Caden McDonald, going to the Texans. 6'2", 326. This man is a big boy.
That's what they needed. Help on defense.
Houston need a little bit of everything.
Texans need a new quarterback, man. I'm done with Stroud. I don't want to play with you anymore. He's broken.
Be done with Stroud all you want. He's gonna get his biceps filled up with some cotton, come back strong as an ox next
Oh,
year.
like Woody in Toy Story 2. He's gonna
Yeah.
have like the dude with the I don't have my monocle out, but
I
yeah.
doubt he'll have to go through the whole like being sold to a toy collector in Japan thing, but it'll be a similar character arc where he comes back bigger, stronger, and happily married as what he was. If he wants to be, or if
Did
not, I don't
Woody
know.
and Jess get married in that movie? Or did it
Bo
Woody
Peep,
and Buzz?
dog. It's a progressive movie series, but I don't think Woody and Buzz would get married. Because
It's
Buzz
a frenemy,
clearly
it's a
was Jesse
frenemy
and
situation from
Woody
enemies to
was
lovers,
with Bo Peep.
classic trope.
Woody like ran away with Bo Peep in the fourth one.
I haven't seen the fourth one yet.
You didn't miss out.
Well, yeah, I apparently missed out a lot of drama if Woody's cheating on Buzz like that with Bo Peep, especially after like running back to Bo. Because they
Woody and
were a
Buzz
thing
are
in the
never
first.
together. What are you talking about right now?
I mean, then he had his detour with Jesse.
I mean, I guess
then,
Buzz did say to infinity and beyond, which implies like lifelong commitment, which is essentially what marriage is.
yeah,
But I don't think they were together.
Well, infinity probably also refers to infinite possibilities. And so Buzz Lightyear is, of course, just living out his infinite lives as an immortal plastic being.
And one of them is married to Woody?
For a time he was, right? We saw that period of his life in in Toy Story, what would that be, 3?
No,
No, that didn't happen in Toy Story
they
3.
were not married in
No,
Toy
no, it's
Story.
Toy Story 1 because that's when Buzz was wearing the apron and the hat.
Mrs. Nesbit.
Mrs. Nesbit.
So Woody's last name in your mind is Nesbit?
Well, because of the implications, yes.
Okay, Dennis.
Because of the implications.
All right. I suppose so. That would have to be it. You're saying, if so facto, Woody and Buzz are married and Buzz is Mrs. Nesbit, then clearly Woody's last name is Nesbit. I
You know,
followed it. I'm with I don't think that's how it went down, but I get where you're coming from. I have
yeah,
followed your
so
line of
that is why I believe CJ Stroud's last name is actually CJ Nesbit.
You think he's married to Woody and Buzz in that little triangle of love?
Yeah, and because of the implications, and by extension, Bo Peep and Jesse.
All Mrs. Nesbit, except for CJ Stroud and Woody, who are both Misters Nesbit.
So I can't figure out why the Texans took a defensive tackle.
So that's all to say, why did they take defense?
They're stacked. They're stacked, right? So I was hearing rumors of them potentially trading Nico Collins. I hope that doesn't happen for the Texans. I mean,
I
I
hope it
think
doesn't
the
happen for
anchors.
fantasy purposes either. Nico Collins is a solid dude working with Stroud and across from Tank Dell.
Yeah, he's. Does my feed look blurry to you? By the way.
Slightly.
Okay, yeah. Let me
I thought it was my eyes, but then I looked at me and I was like, no, I'm clear.
let me see what's going on here.
It's
Hey,
probably
what's going on?
late.
Let me talk through the Texans real quick.
The
All right.
Texans.
Okay, so rumors apparently about Nico getting traded. I don't think that'll happen, but we'll see. They are stacked at receiver, though. I really like Jaden Higgins, second-year player. First year for a rookie was really great. Was able to step up kinda when Nico was out for those games. Not that he had particularly big games at any point in time, but you can see that your second best cornerback is going to struggle against this big bodied, fast dude. He's basically another Nico, and he's only going to get better in these next couple of years.
Right.
Now, they even on the back burner, they still have Jalen Noel, another second year player. And that rookie, in the words of some other fantasy analysts, like when you toward the end of the season, when you saw him like get out there and catch a ball, you're like, who the hell is this guy? He should be getting like way more playing time. And that was Jalen Noel standing out amongst all the garbage
Right.
they're running out. I think Hutchinson was okay. Xavier Hutchinson, I think he was okay. And then they also have, of course, Dalton Schultz, who's going to eat up, 5 to 8 targets a game, and always just be reliable for Stroud. Woody Marks is a better pass catcher than he is like a between the tackles runner or goal line running back, certainly. But this year with Montgomery, man, I like David Montgomery this year. I like him so much. And best ball, he's going about pick 40 to 45, somewhere in there. So around 3.5.
Yeah.
4-on-4.
Yeah, depending on the format, yeah.
Yeah. Half PPR. I think this dude's gonna have he'll have like 10 touchdowns at least this season, regular season scoring. Actual running yards with this, but with this defense, we're talking like 2 touchdowns sometimes, because that defense puts a hurt on people, and it looks like they only got better this year.
Yeah, it does. Yeah, because the guy that they drafted was the big defensive tackle out of Ohio State.
Yeah, and then I did leave off one really important piece of their receiving core. Tank Dell may come back this year as well, and that guy, when he was healthy, was like 140 yards, 170 yards, or something crazy stuff. Gets open in the middle of the field, very small and thus injury prone, but he'll get open for you deep. And I think Stroud's going to have a lot of the if they just had a slightly better quarterback, it feels they would win
I
a Super
like
Bowl
Stroud.
next year. Like,
I like Stroud. I do see some of the knocks on him, but I am a personal believer in CJ Stroud. I don't know if he'll ever win a Super Bowl. Not many quarterbacks do, but I do know that he'll give Texans fans a lot to cheer about for a long time.
I don't know. I'm not convinced. I thought
all
the
that
rookie year
matters.
was great. I expected so much better from him next year, and that wasn't there. And then this year was also sorely lacking. I mean, the
I
Patriots
thought he was
game,
going to step up from last year. Like
I
I
didn't see
thought
it.
he played a lot better this year than he did in his sophomore season.
I just didn't see it this last year. These last 2 years, really, for Stroud. I think this coming year is actually make or break it for him because this team wants to win now, and they can. They have the defense to win now. They have all the pieces to win now. They play in a weak enough division to put them in a good spot, playoff seeding wise. And I can see them taking the step forward. But is Stroud going to? I think he's literally the only limiting factor.
Like, how far is make or break in your mind? Like, if how many games deep does Stroud have to go? Because they're not winning a Super Bowl this year.
They could.
They're not.
But they could. This defense is good enough, man. I've seen it. I think
they're not winning a Super Bowl this year. It's not happening.
I don't think they will because of Stroud, but I think they could.
What? Who are the receivers right now? Like healthy? It's Nico
Higgins,
Noel. Oh my goodness, I forgot about Higgins.
Yeah, I just went on a 5-minute ramble about him.
Yeah, no, I wasn't listening.
Well,
no, I was.
In case you were listening, here's the whole thing again.
I was.
He's
just
like
the healthy one though,
he's
because
like
I was
Nico
under
on
the
the other side.
impression that Tank Dell was going to play this year.
And Tank Dell's very likely. I don't know if he's very likely to play, but I think he's likelier than not to play because he was off all of last year. And then the reports on him right now say stuff like there was a conversation between him and the trainer or something, basically, where the trainer's like, hey, don't worry about coming back for OTAs. Don't even worry about coming back for week 1. Just come back, which doesn't sound very good to hear, right? Like you want to hear.
I mean, Boston said that to Jason Tatum too, and he was like, okay, I'll be right back.
Tank Dell's knees got destroyed, and he's a small body dude. This won't be the last time he gets hurt.
It might make it easier to regenerate whatever went wrong.
He only has to regrow 10 inches of tendon.
I know. What do I know? I recovered from a torn Achilles in a record time, and then Jason Tatum went and knocked it out the park, and I was like, okay, injuries just don't mean anything anymore. Like,
yeah,
we saw it with Williams in Dallas too. Like, I know he took a hit the year after his injury in Denver, but the moment he got to Dallas, it was like different juice entered the body, and it seems like. And this is kind of just true for athletes in general. The year you come back from injury, chances are you're not going to look that great. But the year after is going to be telling on whether or not you're actually still getting better or whether you're going to regress as a player at this point. In my mind, guys like Jason Tatum are not human because he came back seeming like he didn't even get hurt. We'll see what happens with Tank Dell, but I'm not ready to write him off, you know?
Yeah, no, I've been drafting him a lot. He goes like around 17 or 18, I think, like pick 170 to 190. I've gotten him as late into the 200.
Exactly where if I saw a name like Tank Dell sitting, that's exactly where I would take him. I was doing it with Beckham a few years ago just because you could kind of count on him to get like 6 touchdowns a year.
Yeah.
You just had to pick where he was going to have them.
Yeah, at that price, all you need is like 2 weeks with 30 yards, 3 catches, and a touchdown.
Exactly.
And you're happy you got your 10 points to fill in for somebody.
Yeah. And there are times when it was even like a 2 touchdown on 2 catch performance, stuff like that.
Yep.
I do see
the Devontae Adams special.
When you throw him slants on the goal line, man, what else?
Yeah, slants and fades.
What else? They were like, because it's such a lethal combination. His footwork is identical on both routes. So defenders just guess one, and he's just going to run the other.
I was looking through. So yeah, I think the Texans are going to be very good on offense this year. I think that defense too is just going to make Montgomery explode. I can see easily 2 touchdown games, probably like 4 times this coming season. They get the AFC South, which is going to be a better division, I guess, this year. Actually, a lot better this year because of the Jaguars and the Colts coming back. But they're going to be good. They're going to be very good. I think they could compete for a title this year. I was looking through these other names to see what stood out from like a fantasy perspective. There's a lot of defense, offense, stuff like that. Do you want to keep going pick by pick, or do you want to just do like, skill positions, or just what stands out to you?
I guess what stands out would probably be best.
Yeah. I'm my first name that pops up from at least the fantasy side is Denzel Boston, going to the Cleveland Browns at pick 39. Really big bodied receiver for Washington. He played with NFL talent all of his career except for this last year, and that's also his most productive year. A lot of people think he's just going to be the classic sacrificial X, to use Matt Harmon's term at reception perception. Just a big body guy, like a Romeo Dobbs type. You throw him on the outside, make him run deep, take all that coverage with him, or be there as a legitimate option. But we're talking again 4 to 8 targets a game, maybe 40 to 80 yards, like unsurprisingly, not like crazy, and then maybe a touchdown. I think he can play, but going to Cleveland is an interesting spot because, one, what the hell are we going to get a quarterback this year? And then two, they took Casey Conception, who I like. His name is Kevin Conception, so Casey Conception is Kevin Conception. So Denzel Boston, he's going to go compete against that guy, plus Jerry Jeudy, plus Harold Fannin. And then they also have Quinshon Judkins there.
I'm gonna cut you off real quick. Are you under the impression that his name is Casey?
No, I'm saying those are his initials, but everywhere you hear people say Casey Conception.
It's his nickname.
Instead of just KC.
It's his nickname. His initials are his initials are KC, but it's not KCC, it's KC.
No, that's what I'm saying. People say Casey Conception.
Okay, I don't know. Well,
Concepcion.
I get it, but it's because it's his nickname mixed with his last name. They did it.
I know, but when you drop both, it's redundant. You're a towel.
I get where you're coming from, but it's his nickname, and they have to make sure that they know what the nickname is, or who the nickname is supposed to be attached to. There has to be like an identifiable actual name. That he's not good enough to just be KC right now. You know what I mean?
Yeah, he could be Conception, K Conception,
but he's not the only one in. I don't think he's even the only one in the NFL, let alone pro sports. I know at least 2 baseball players with that name.
Concepcion. I don't know either. Get back to Boston though. Probably bad quarterback play. I do think there's stiffer competition for targets, not including Jerry Jeudy, but just Kevin Conception. It's going to be very good. It does mean Jerry Jeudy's probably walking at the end of his contract. I think that's this year.
Right.
And like I said, they've got a lot of other people they can get this ball to. I think even their backup running back, Dylan Sampson, is pretty good. He was a really good prospect. I don't think he's like great. I don't think we're looking at Emmitt Smith, but I do think we're watching a guy who can play.
Right.
He's like James Robinson to me, like just reliable, just a good, reliable running back. You can hand that ball to him 20 times. You can catch a couple of passes. Just good, solid player.
Good stuff.
I think the Browns went offensive line in round 1-2. Though the guy they took, I think, was Spencer Fano, and he's and he's really good, except he's got an injury history or some questions there.
They were talking about that during the broadcast.
Yeah. What does it even mean without a quarterback to begin with? Were we talking Deshaun Watson? Or are we talking Pro Bowler Shedeur Sanders. Ugh.
I don't agree with your assessment on Shedeur at all.
Oh, would you give it a double like that? With like an extended
No, more like a wait and see. I mean, he's got flashes of plays when he actually gets protection that are just kind of like, wow, he's pretty fucking good when he's got the time. But when you spend the entire season running for your fucking life, after spending the entire first half of the season basically getting shit on not only by the media but by your head coach who clearly favored the guy in front of you.
He got did dirty by the
Dude,
NFL. I don't know what he did wrong.
It wasn't a good situation for him to have been in. The media did this to him. Like, and I don't know why the media did this to him. If they had just let Shedeur be, he would have just been really solid where he was at. But there was just this really unnecessary hype train that went down, and it was just kind of like, oh, he's the best quarterback in this draft, and it was kind of like, where is this narrative coming from?
Yeah,
like the Buffaloes weren't in the college football play. Last time I checked, the best quarterbacks in college football consistently have their team in the college football playoff. But maybe I was missing something. And I mean, I watched a lot of Colorado. Well, not a lot of Colorado, but I watched like 5 to 6 throughout his tenure there. And it wasn't I was watching good stuff. Like I wasn't sitting there just like, wow, this guy sucks. What are they talking about? Like I was watching like, okay, I see the flashes. I'm confused why he got the attention that he got, but I did see a serviceable, trainable, will get better NFL quarterback.
What do you think is range of outcomes for this coming year then? Like, are we underrating the Browns in general? Because Harold Fanning goes kind of late. He's like pick 80. Jerry Jeudy, way late, 150. Denzel Boston's been going at 140. I imagine his landing spot might hurt him now, so he'll go even later. It'll be like 160, 170. And then you have Casey Conception, who started at like 130, and then he rose up to like 105, 115. So where do you think these guys land by the end of the summer? Like, is there going to be a big hype train because people believe in Shedeur? Or
1,400 in 8 games translates to 2,800 over 16. But with a full season of actual, like in a full off season of being able to work as the QB1, assuming that's the direction they're going to go, I think this can be anywhere between 35 to 4,000 yards, and that's like highest ceiling is 4,000, I think.
4,000 yards would be amazing for Shedeur.
It is 17 games.
I don't know what his prop is actually. I was trying to figure that out. What his prop was. I don't have underdog or anything open to loaded up, but let's see. I think like 3,300 is where I would put his line at.
You mean his ceiling or his floor?
Like his line. I think that's the likely outcome.
Okay,
around 3,300
all right.
yards.
Yeah, I get. Okay, I can see that, but yeah, I figured we'd be ending up anywhere between 36 to 4,000 yards with Shedeur. With a full
36, Jalen Hurts is projected for like 3,400 yards. 36 would be awesome.
There's no receivers in Philly. You think Malachi Lemon's going to do anything?
I do. I like Malachi Lemon. I don't think Jalen Hurts can use him very well. I think it was a weird pick. I think they needed like
Malachi Lemon.
190 pounds. He moves really fast, and he looks like a good player against good competition. I think he's going to win the open, like middle of the field. I think you got Devontae Smith, who can also take some attention or win on his own right. I like the Philly offense coming up. I don't think he's going to be as good as A.J. Brown, but I think he'll be less of a distraction. The team will work together better. We'll see.
I don't like Malachi Lemon at all.
Plus, they probably have the best active GM in the game today. With Roseman, Howie Roseman there. They're going to get a lot out of their team. They always do as of late. And I think generally speaking, all the Jalen Hurts hype is just overblown. I don't think he's that great of a passer, but I think they can win. I'm trying to find the passing yard prop on underdog for for Shador if he has one.
I'm not even sure he's been named the quarterback, but if he is,
yeah, that would be pretty crazy listing a line. They still do it though. Like some of these guys are let's see where I can find some passing yards. That was another thing I wanted to do potentially on this show. I've just found it. They don't have Sanders listed, probably for the reason you said. Yeah, they just don't know who the starter is. But take some of these names, right, to compare it to. So you think like 36, 4,000. Caleb Williams' line is 36.99, so 3,700 yards.
Caleb Williams is going to throw for way more than 3,700 yards.
Guess what the first prop bet I placed includes?
I would hope it was that,
over passing yards.
That's so absurd.
Yes.
3,700 for Caleb. Like, oh my goodness.
Yes, sir.
Do they think he's going to get hurt at some point in time throughout the season?
So the smart money in these season-long bets is always on the unders, except for, I mean, there's some bad bets to place like this Caleb Williams. I'm not going to bet an under on this. He's a young player. They have a good enough offensive line. He hasn't shown injury history. And the only way he's not going to get there is if they win so dominantly they're done playing by week 16, or he gets hurt.
But I mean, if they get to that point in time, I doubt they're going to. Like, I'm sure they'll have had enough offensive production for him to have already covered that line. If they're doing so well on the season, they don't need him.
And check some of these other names for more context too. Like guys we'd consider pretty good quarterbacks. Jordan Love's at 34.99. I know the Packers run the ball a lot. Jaden Daniels, 33.49. Like they are baking in injury there. Jaden Daniels hurt me so bad last year because my season-long props were all over his 3,300 line. I got that shit so early. I pounded it everywhere, and then he got hurt. It was heartbreaking, man.
It's a Washington quarterback in his second year after a prolific rookie year.
And a running quarterback, too. RG3 round 2, baby.
I don't know, man.
Jalen Hurts' prop 31.99, 3,200 yards.
Well, you don't believe in Jalen Hurts, so it's okay.
No, I totally do. And Cam Ward, 31.99. Tell me he's not going to go.
I'm not a big believer in Cam. I'm a big believer in Cam Ward. I just don't know what the Tennessee offense is going to do. I know they went out and got him a few weapons in the draft, and I'm excited to see what happens with all of it. But
that Titans receiving room is really interesting because from a best ball perspective, we'll talk through that. They've got some guys going late like Chimere Dike, and I really like the Malik Iomanner. They clearly didn't like him that much if they took Carnell Tate because I think both those guys are going to do the same thing. They're going to be that deep. So Tennessee Titans receivers.
Maybe they just like Cam Ward's ability to drive the ball down the field, and they want a few guys who can do that.
I think they loaded him up the right way. I think Wandale right there in the middle, dude. I love Wandale Robinson. I'm a big
fan of what Wandale can do.
Me too. Aging Calvin Ridley, but that guy still can move. He's a big body still, but he just
has a lot of drop balls, but he gets open, and when he's open, he'll get targets, but he does have a lot of drops.
Yeah. So receiver, I think they're pretty stacked because even without Carnell Tate, who I think is a solid number 2 receiver, I don't think he's going to be a very special number 1, but I think he's certainly going to produce. But these two guys back here, Chimere Dike, I love this dude. He's so fast. He's an athlete, and Malik Iomanner is just smart. And he gets outside and can catch that deep ball. I saw quite a few touchdowns this last year to this guy when Ward had nowhere else to go. But now this looks like a really solid room. I still love Tony Pollard. Maybe they take another running back later on because they were rumored to get Jeremiah Love. And there's a lot of like round 4, round 5 guys like Jonah Coleman, I think, is still out there. There's some other good running backs who can beef up this room. And then down here at tight end, Gunnar Helm was a pretty good receiving tight end last year. He was like a lot of people's dark horse at tight end, came out of nowhere, undrafted kind of guy. Solid receiver, though, and we'll see where he goes. And Bellinger, I really liked on the Giants. This guy was like, he blocked super well. And you could see that they still tried to involve him when Theo Johnson came up short. To me, he's like a playmaker, but he's just not very fast in any way. He's not an athlete in the open field, but he will catch that ball for you. You're gonna get your 10 yards or you're gonna get your touchdown. And he's gonna block pretty hard for you too. So I like this receiving room a lot for Cam Ward. I think he's set up a lot better than was last year. I think the offensive line's gonna get better too. And the defense should come along because, like I said, Robert Saleh and his defense, man, he's always going to put a good product out there. And Dayball is kind of the quarterback whisperer. He was the guy who, like, quote unquote, turned Josh Allen's career around. And he made Dart look pretty good last year. I think he got the shaft for finding a diamond in the rough because I really didn't like Dart or the Ole Miss passing game in general. And Dart still doesn't look that great as a passer to me, but he was successful last year.
There was more to him than you thought, right?
Yeah, a lot more, especially the mobility. And that's just my oversight, right? Like I don't watch college a lot, but that should have been obvious, like how good this guy is in the open field. And he's going to make it. It's kind of like Josh Allen in his early days. I'm not saying he's going to be Josh Allen, but
he doesn't run over people like that, but he tries to, which is pretty cool.
And nothing better than Josh Allen playing the New England
It's really hard to emulate the physicality Josh Allen brings to the table. I think maybe a young Dak might have been able to match it, and then Cam Newton, and that's like the full list.
Yeah, I mean, nobody's trucking linebackers, though, except for Josh Allen.
Well, Dak used to. I don't know if you remember the first couple of years of Dak's career, but there were literally like 3rd and 8 situations where he said, I'm going to go get this. And he would lower his shoulder on a Philly linebacker. And it was like against Philly. That's awesome.
Yeah. That's why when he sticks that arm out there, he's the daddy.
I still don't know what that means. He has kids now, but it's kind of like, what?
If anyone hasn't seen the Dak Jerry Jones daddy moment, then sorry, because we're going to be saying that line a lot.
I would encourage you to go look it up right now. Just look up Jerry Jones calls Dak the daddy, and I promise you that video will come up. Don't look up any of the other Jerry Jones stuff because he says some wild stuff here and there.
It's pretty crazy.
I do like overall what Tennessee's doing here on defense, drafting Keldrick Falk out of Auburn and Anthony Hill out of Texas.
Yeah.
I watched a ton of Texas games this past year just because they were always on. They're so good. This dude was phenomenal. And he ran a 4.5 at the combine, which is, for a linebacker, it's pretty good. But on game film, it looked a lot faster.
Awesome.
Yeah, so his game speed was really, really nice. He had 250 tackles in 3 seasons, and for a college player, that's pretty sweet, especially since college doesn't go to linebackers a lot. They funnel a lot to the cornerbacks, edge rushers, such and such.
Yeah, I've seen a lot of stuff here that signals he's like a run blocker for the most part.
Run stuff, yeah.
Run stuff, okay.
Yeah, so what he does really, really well, or I guess I shouldn't say really, really well. There's a reason he's in the 3rd round. But what he does really well is he's able to stack blockers, like essentially being able to just kind of stop the blockers in their tracks, make sure the run doesn't progress any further out. Depending on where he's lined up, this is either going to be setting the edge or filling gap up in the middle between the A and the B. I'm a huge fan of players who can do that because as a Cowboys fan, I have been watching dudes get run off the spot 20 yards downfield for a long time, and I am sick of it. So I watch other teams who don't have players who do that because they play good football on defense. And this guy, he plays pretty good football on defense. It was nice to watch him. It was nice to watch him. Dude, just in all honesty, it's refreshing to be able to watch guys who were able to just kind of shut down a run, who put emphasis on that part of the craft, because everybody wants to get upfield, pin their ears back, and get a sack on the quarterback. But, bro, tackles for losses are sweet as hell. No gains are sweet. A 2-yard gain as a defender on a 1st and 10, that's badass, man. You did your job. But I don't know. There's a lot of they designated a whole position to it now. It's edge rush now instead of being defensive end.
Yeah.
And that's frustrating. As a dude who grew up playing 90s style football, it is kind of frustrating to watch some of what the new age is getting done. A lot of it's really exciting, but stuff like this just kind of grinds my gears.
I don't know. I think it just speaks to the specialization, right, in football, and it probably actually with the differentiation really comes in handy is during the contracting period because you want to pay those guys that can, the hit the passer a lot better than just the dude who's there for,
Yeah, this was the conversation I had with Dad earlier today too, because we were talking about where like Micah's tenure in Dallas kind of went wrong, and we both kind of agreed it stemmed from the time that he designated himself an edge rusher as opposed to a linebacker.
Yeah.
Because his first and all more power to him. He got a bag, bro, and he's doing really
Kyle
really
Pitts was asking to be labeled a receiver for the contract.
Yeah, exactly. And I'm all in on people trying to get their money. Like you only have so many years to make it in this career, but it sucked that it kind of came at the cost of what we were building something really, really special on that defense with Micah being able to be a hybrid the way that he was, Van Der Esch being only 3 years older than him. And I think we had at the time Jalen Smith still playing pretty good football.
I love that roster.
Even Sean Lee was out there making appearances, like on a 3rd down situation, still making some plays for us.
Yeah, Deron Bland's still back there, right? And then we had Chigoziem Awuzie before.
Chidobe Awuzie, but it wasn't. I don't think Deron Bland was there yet. But we did have a really solid cast with guys like Jordan Lewis and all of them.
Yeah, Lewis. Yeah.
Yeah, Chidobe was great. Oh man, I'm sad we let him go to Cincinnati, but I am happy he went to a team where I can still cheer for him.
Yeah, that was a good defensive core that gave me hope for the first time in a long time because we always push out there.
Watching Micah, like young Micah with Van Der Esch and Jalen Smith was a real treat. And watching guys like Osa being able to come up being young in that time and just show the flashes of the player he was ultimately going to be like. Yeah, it was a very hopeful time to be a Cowboy fan.
It's always hopeful.
And then the Fire Nation
and
attack.
It never fails to disappoint.
I don't agree with that. I had a lot to cheer about this year. I knew we weren't going to win a Super Bowl, so it was pretty much just like, let's see how good Dak can be. I know the defense is going to be horrible, but Dak had an MVP caliber season coming from the quarterback position, and George Pickens and CeeDee Lamb were phenomenal. Ferguson gave us a lot to be happy about, and the run game as a whole between Williams and Davis was nice, just really, really nice. And the offensive line only got better. I do low-key kind of wish we would have drafted an offensive lineman named Tyler in the first round, but I'm happy we went the route that we did.
Yeah, I'm sure we'll find another Tyler out there.
Need him. The Great Wall of Tyler is coming, and it's coming to a neighborhood near you, and it's going to block you. There's nothing you can do about it.
You got to be like at the ice cream man truck, and then you're trying to get like a blue snow cone or something.
Blocked.
Not the Dikembe Mutombo guy named Tyler's gonna swat your ice cream cone down.
Yeah, not the Dikembe Mutombo way, the Tyler way, where he puts you on your ass.
Block.
He's opening a hole for the ice cream truck.
You know, and at our high school, we had to form the Great Wall of China in the burrito line, because
to stop the line cutters. Yeah. Bro, so high school was ruthless, man. Building the Great Wall of China to stop a line cutter on Super Burrito.
What was funny is that there was like this.
You ever start fights?
There was a small it got tense sometimes, but we're all on the football team, so we're just standing there, right? Like, we weren't doing it in an aggressive way. We were just standing there, but that alone would be enough to like deter, except for this one kid who like climbed between Charles's legs.
Hell yeah,
Alien style, and he emerged out from there. And at that point,
you earned the burrito.
If Genghis Khan is coming for you, you're just done anyways. Like the
You've
Great
earned your
Wall will
burrito,
fall.
brother. Have fun.
You can't stop the Mongol horde from getting through. I don't know if that's what we call them, like the Mongols or something.
I bet Genghis Khan could have gotten beat if China had just been like, with nukes or something.
Yeah, they should have just developed a nuclear warhead.
I don't know why they didn't do that.
Well, the larger municipality.
It would have been like, Genghis, you can't take China.
It's pretty good.
I might get clipped.
Genghis, you can't take China. They're like British Chinese.
Yeah. Because
Genghis.
the British Empire had been everywhere at that point in time. I'm sure they dabbled a little bit in the Chinese Empire.
That's like Australian.
Dynasties, the Chinese dynasties. And the British Empire. You never heard about them trading
empires?
Yeah. They were like,
trading accents. You know about the trading accents?
Empire if you give me your empire. And they were like, don't you mean our empire? And then they killed them all.
Oh yes, the von Wolf houses, rulers of both China and England.
Yes.
They are cousins.
It's been history with the goo.
Yeah.
Kids, read an actual book. Don't listen to me.
The goo.
There's a team I actually wanted to talk about a little bit, and it's because I hate them so much, and they actually did a lot of things that I really like. And that's the Chiefs.
Okay, I know that team.
I hate them. Hate them with a passion. I don't want them to succeed, but unfortunately, they did a lot of things in this draft. And I mean, it's like they traded up to get their guy. The move reminds me a little bit of what Dallas did for Morris Claiborne a few years ago. And specifically because they traded up to number 6 to take a defensive back out of LSU.
Yeah. Sounds familiar.
And we all know how famously well that worked out for Dallas. I do think this will work out a lot better for Kansas City, though. I'm a huge fan of what LSU did last year defensively, and Mansour Delane.
Yeah.
I'm positive I pronounced it correctly on that one.
Yep.
He does a lot of what Kansas City really needs, is being able to make tackles and being able to make plays in pass coverage.
That they just lost Trent McDuffie too. They couldn't afford his contract, right? And their roster is like kind of bad.
It's skin and bones right now, man. It's Mahomes and nobody. Like, I know Kelsey's still kicking, but he seems a little older right now.
He's not as explosive as he was, but he's still a steal where he goes. Like
super effective. Super effective. I'm a firm believer in Travis Kelce as a producer, both in fantasy and in real football. The dude's still got the juice.
Yeah.
But he has, his sauce has expired. You feel?
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
This other move by the Chiefs, that defensive tackle Peter Woods, he's really good.
Funny as hell too. Do you ever watch the New Heights podcast? Those dudes are funny. They had Troy Aikman on the other day. It was good stuff.
I've seen clips. I haven't watched like a full episode.
You should.
The whole Brothers podcast is so overrated. Seriously.
Like, I don't know why brothers would ever get together and think that they could just.
How did they even put up with each other for that long? Like, he
couldn't fucking be me, bro.
Couldn't fucking be me too, right?
I fucking hate my brothers, dude.
So yeah, Peter Woods.
Stupid home. All right. So I like a lot what they did with Mansour Delane. I like that they drafted. They're pretty much taking the philosophy that I want for for Dallas, and they're just like,
Yeah.
let's do it for us. Like,
Yeah.
a
Except
big
they
defensive
executed
tackle
on
to
it much
anchor,
better.
a big defensive tackle to anchor the middle. We got 6'2", 298 Peter Woods coming out of Clemson. I don't know much about him. I'm going to be honest.
Yeah. Big reputation as a run stopper is a lot of the talk I got.
Well,
Which is
reputation
pretty
as a
awesome,
run
man.
stopper with quote unquote short arms may or may not hinder him. I'm not a believer in the body metrics in that sense, because you hear guys like Jason Kelsey talk whenever he's talking about his experiences. Guys with short arms gave him some trouble sometimes based on how they were able to use their body's positioning.
According to this ESPN blurb, anyways, it says he can line up at edge as well, which means this dude can play the outside against tackles. If his arm length was really that big of a problem,
You probably wouldn't be able to do that very well.
no, you got to keep those tackles off you or control their movement because you got to plug it, right? You have to set that edge or come
Exactly.
off of it, right? And beat him in the pass block. And all that relies on excellent use of hands.
Yeah. And footwork's a big part of it too. But yeah,
Yeah.
I see where you're coming from. If it was a problem, he wouldn't be doing what he was doing.
Yeah, and I think the Chiefs still have Spagnuolo there too, and that guy is probably the best defensive coordinator in the game. He's just consistently great defenses after great defenses. And talking about getting the most out of his players too. Kansas City's just dangerous. It's always dangerous to go play there because if Mahomes doesn't beat you by 20, you're gonna get your ass kicked on the other side. You always know you're in for a fight against the Chiefs. That the defense is just consistently great. And they also address their other weakness, which is offensive line too. I don't know anything about this guy, Mason Thomas.
I
But
watched a
reading
few
about it,
this
yeah.
year, and his name was spoken pretty often. I don't know. He wasn't the best player on the team, and his film, there were moments that popped out, but it wasn't like I got to tell everybody about this guy. They got the
This
steal.
Mason Thomas guy?
Yeah, Mason Thomas. Yeah.
Okay.
At
Other edge.
6'2", 241, he's exactly where you want him to be. You might
Oh,
want him to be around 250 to 260 as an edge rush, but I mean, if he's quick and he's strong, then you got him right where you want him. Playing till his senior year, man, I like that. I'm a big fan of people who play to their senior year and leave. None of what
a lot of people would say the opposite. You want to see a prospect who is producing at a younger age and be ready for that NFL without having to
senior
give it
year and leave. You play 4 and you go. No Carson Beck playing 8 or whatever it was. I know he had the COVID years, but like he made up like 3 different red shirts that annoyed me. I didn't like it.
No, I mean, and today's college is a lot different too because these guys can make a better paycheck at school than they can in the NFL.
Man, but
So why not stay?
Quinn Ewers decided to go pro. He could have stayed in college, made a bag. Bro decided to go pro, make $700K, be a 7th round pick, and then he got to start like in the pros. I get it. It's a smaller paycheck. You want to take care of your family. You want to start getting yourself some nice stuff now. But bro, play the game because you love the game. Like all this other stuff is kind of driving me nuts.
I could see that going away. I could see you want to return because you get the money and because you're still getting the most playing time relative to when you start in the NFL. It goes back the other way too, though. These older guys, they're kind of expected to be out of the box ready now. I mean, one of the nice things about the NIL is that I feel like it's created a lot more competition in general.
There's a lot more parity around college football, and I think that a lot of the older talking heads are mad about it, and that's why we see some of the anti-rhetoric. But
Well,
I think
just dudes from
overall,
small schools get recognized now. They get a lot of playing. They get surfaced in a way that they weren't before.
I mean, teams like UTEP were able to pull in 4 and 5-star recruits just because we were able to offer them basically like, bro, you're gonna have every commercial you want. Like, you're gonna make a lot of money off. You're gonna have a decent education, and you'll be all right.
Yeah.
And then you only have to play here for like a year or two before you get to transfer to somewhere else where you go get a bag. If you do well, you'll be all right.
Dude, there's some serious receiver capital getting spent in this third round. There's a lot of fantasy relevant players here. I just noticed. First off, Malachi Fields out of Notre Dame,
Oh
very
man, I'm a
explosive dude.
big
Yeah,
fan of Malachi Fields. I think he's going to be. I actually wanted to bring this up to you because he got drafted by the Giants,
yeah, he
and
can kind of replace what Wandale was to him. That short area of
dude,
the field over the middle.
Malachi Fields might be the sleeper. This dude is the best player, the Cooper Cup of the draft. Like Malachi's
I
got the
don't,
shit.
I don't like him that much. You think he's that good?
Malachi's got the shit. He's got the juice. He's got the sauce. He's got the meat, the potatoes. He's got the broccoli and the spinach. He doesn't get distracted by the cake or the ice cream.
He's got the quads.
The guy's well, he's not Saquads by any means, but he's going to be playing at the team that Saquads used to play with. So maybe he'll be inspired by that and get really big quads.
And there's
Who knows? I don't know what he's going to do, but I am a firm believer that
I don't
Malachi
know what he's gonna do.
I am a firm believer that Malachi Fields is going to be the truth at receiver, man. I think we're going to be watching some special stuff happening in New York, assuming Jackson Dart isn't just a total fuck up, which I don't think he is. I think he's pretty good.
I don't think he's gonna be that good of a passer, but Malachi Fields isn't the
He's going
kind
to
of
help a
guy
lot.
that
He's
like
getting some help.
we'll see. These other dudes, though, Zachariah Branch, going to the Falcons, get to stay in Atlanta. That's pretty cool. But this guy was like their leading receiver last year in terms of receptions, but I think it was 40% of his targets were behind the line of scrimmage or something.
Mm-hmm.
So just a manufactured touch guy that had a lot to do with his quarterback play. When he has a better quarterback, we'll see what he can do. It's not like he's upgrading a lot, though. I do believe in Tua-ish this year, but he's got a lot of competition for targets between Drake London and Kyle Pitts already. So we'll see what a manufactured touch guy.
2-ish.
What's up?
What time should I meet you? 2-ish.
2-ish. Tuolagavaloish.
Tua Tagovailoa. You can't still be struggling to say Tua's last name in 2026.
Well, now there's a new last name I get to struggle with. Maui Noah.
Yeah, Maui Noah.
Yeah,
that went through me for a loop, and then I heard it, and I was like, "Oh, I'm just an idiot. I should have known."
It's easy, just the G's and N. It's super easy. Everybody knows that when you read that name for the first time. Jacoby Lane
should have just inferred it. Like, how many times do we see GN and it's Gnye?
Oh, these Gnats.
Like, how stupid are we?
Gnats are
we
swarming.
saw that name and we tried to do that with that name, and it was just like, no, wait, that never makes that noise. Yeah.
It's like the reverse part in Missy Elliott. Flip and reverse it. You want to work it?
Oh yeah, okay.
Yeah.
I was like, I don't think I hear what you're trying to do, but okay, all right.
I was just basically just
okay. Okay.
This Jacoby Lane guy is also super interesting. So these three names that we pointed out so far have been talking points in best ball this offseason. Like, what do you do with them? They're basically going at the end of drafts. They're all somewhat free. This Jacoby Lane guy is someone else put it. He's what you would want Denzel Boston to actually be. Faster, same size, 6'4", 200 pounds, can play outside. He's going to be explosive. He's going to be pretty awesome. I say, unfortunately, he goes to the Ravens. Not that I think Lamar's a bad passer by any means. I just don't think they pass the ball as much. And then a team that's got Zay Flowers, who's got to get his 8 to 10 targets. It's going to and Mark Andrews coming back. Now, how dominant is he? They did lose likely. I just think there's not a lot of room at receiver to get a whole bunch of targets back there. But this guy screams occasional 50 to 60 yard game and a touchdown to me. I can see him being like what Rashad Bateman was hopefully going to be. And I really like Rashad Bateman. He just didn't pan out to be what I think Jacoby Lane could be. So these receivers are awesome here. And then yet there's 2 more massive names. Jesus, I missed all of this. I can't tell you how big of a talking points these guys were in the offseason. So this Chris Brazzell guy, a lot of people think this is your actual wide receiver 1 or in the top 5 receivers of just athletes for this year. The problem is this guy, literally 95% of his snaps were outside to the right of the hash. That's just Tennessee's scheme. They have a reputation for producing guys who don't translate well to the NFL. Cedric Tillman kind of did a good job. He's probably the best Tennessee receiver out for a long time. But there's a lot of examples who have failed because they don't know how to do a lot of what you need a receiver to do. But this guy's got it all athlete wise. Same size as Jacoby Lane, faster. And I think he's an amazing player. I just really hope who took him, the Panthers. I really hope they can do something with him because this guy can flash in a big way if you have the right scheme for him. But again, a dude who's going last undrafted in a lot of cases, someone to look out as like a sleeper kind of guy you want some exposure to, I think, over the summer. But again, this is Carolina. On a team with Ted McMillan, same problems. Like, where's the volume going to be here? And then he's got like decent competition, but not good competition. Like, I think Mingo is still playing out there. I think Xavier Leggette's still there. Jalen Coker is a lot of people's. He's got his own fan club, the Cokeheads. And then the last name here, Ted Hurst. Georgia State receiver. What's awesome about Hurst is that all that same size and catchability that I just mentioned is there. Speed's not as good as Brazzell, but I think he's on par with like a Denzel Boston. And the only concerning part about him is that he chose not to transfer out of Georgia State. I don't know why. I think you'd want to, if you had his profile and the way he dominated Georgia State for a few years, I think you would go to a bigger school so you get your name out there, but he didn't. And so he's kind of got like this big fish in a small pond-ness about him. But going undrafted again at the end of drafts, and there's a lot of really good best ball players out there who have this guy as like one of their main sleepers. But these 5 names in here, super excited to see what they do because they've been big talking points. This Antonio Williams guy too, massive athlete out of Clemson. I don't know if you know about any of these guys or want to talk through them, but those are the names that stood out to me this round. It's just run on receivers and controversial receivers from a best ball perspective, but just can't wait to see what they do.
No, I mean, as far as those guys, I actually don't know a whole lot about. It's when we start getting into the 3rd and 4th round receivers, I kind of start to lose track. Because now we're talking about wide receiver 2 and 3s on sometimes mid-major teams.
Yeah.
So it's a little harder for me to be able to keep up with them, especially since I'm not a avid college football watcher.
Yeah. I've just been doing a lot of the prospect analysis because of the early best ball drafting, like the pre-draft best ball on Underdog and DraftKings and Drafters. Right. Yeah. So I've been paying a lot of attention to these rookies, and I think all these names are exciting in their own ways. You can see role players here at least, and at best, these dudes have some serious speed, which does mean the coaches will just try and feed him the ball. Zachariah Branch and Chris Brazzell stand out the most in those ways, but I think the best overall receiver from this group is probably Jacoby Lane, and he could do some mild damage in kind of like what Bateman did his rookie year, where solid number 2.
I would just kind of shy away from the teams are going to feed him because they're fast.
Yeah.
Thing. Because like John Ross is nothing.
Yeah.
Like, he's a really fast human being, but other than that, he didn't run routes really well. He didn't catch the ball very well. And yeah, the Bengals tried to get him like 2 or 3 gadget plays a game, but there's really not a whole lot you could do with players like that. As far as analysis goes, I would stray away from using the speed It's just more about how a team is actually going to use it, and teams don't know how to utilize speed, especially bad teams with bad offensive lines, because then they're relegated to just throwing a bunch of bubble screens and jet sweeps with these guys. And sometimes they work, but if you don't have receivers who can break tackles or receivers who are going to be getting solid blocks on the outside, that speed's going to get swallowed up immediately. Um, so I would temper my excitement as far as fast guys are concerned.
Yeah.
Especially if they're going to a team with a less than good offensive line.
Yeah, I was like revisiting the Chris Brazzell. He's going to the Panthers, who their offensive
Weak
line is
offensive
kind of
lines.
okay.
I love what Bryce Young brings to the table, but I'm not a firm believer in Carolina as a whole.
I like the coach better than I like the quarterback. That's for sure. I think Dave Canales is a really good coach, and he's kind of enabled Bryce Young to succeed this far. That being said, I think Bryce Young is one hell of a competitor. I just
He
don't
still
think his
has
physical
to
assets.
succeed, though. Like, even if he's being enabled to, you still have to do it.
I think he's gonna need to be like Drew Brees-esque in terms of he's not that tall. He's always gonna be
Well,
he's always
yeah,
gonna have to move. And I
but that
don't
was
think
always going to be what his career trajectory was going to be like. Defenders are getting tall.
yeah.
Most of these dudes that we looked at right now were all 6'2" and above.
Well, that with being spot on when you throw it, when you actually throw it, and I just don't see consistency
He's
from
a pretty
Bryce Young at
accurate
an
guy.
elite level.
It'll be different if he's got a solid offensive line in front of him.
Yeah.
It's so hard because I mean this was the rhetoric around Geno Smith and to a pretty large extent Sam Darnold as well. And Geno went on to have decent success as a journeyman, and Sam Darnold just won a Super Bowl. Like teams that get thrown to these poverty franchises, and I don't mean to just throw the Jets under the bus like that, but like they're thrown onto these bad teams. Who knows what they actually are? And let's be honest about what Carolina is. They're not good on offense.
No, but they'll still be vying for a playoff spot toward the end of the year just because the
Sure.
division.
But that also has a
Mm.
lot to do with your quarterback just not screwing up games, man.
Yeah.
Because we saw it happen in Tampa Bay when Baker got hurt. It seemed like at that point in time, he stopped being able to be the driving force for winning a game, and they just folded.
It was a liability to some extent because his reckless style of play wasn't complemented with all of the awesome play around it.
Yeah, it was the
Um,
problems that were going on.
But with Carolina in particular, their defense, I think last year was what the second best run defense or something. Their pass defense kind of sucked, but it wasn't the end of the world. And I think that will make them be competitive in the division. They'll look out for the Saints this year, baby. Just kidding. They're probably going to suck, but be good on offense.
Like we're talking about quarterback play we don't like. I don't like any of the quarterback play on offense.
I think Tyler Shea is and I think he's going to be comparable statistically to Jackson Dart every game.
I wholeheartedly
rushing.
understand that NFL players are infinitely better than every person who's ever said any words into a podcast, Mike. But I truly believe I could actually throw the ball better than the dudes out in New Orleans.
And Tyler Shug or Scholl
Yeah.
or
pick
Spencer Radler? I got
Radler
you. Yeah,
too.
Spencer Radler, you got my money.
Both of them.
For
Both
sure.
of them.
But
I
think Tyler Shug might be.
wholeheartedly believe I got them both. I'm not asking the Saints to call me. I'm just saying y'all need to call somebody who can do the job. Cam Newton needs a job. Get him one. I like Cam Newton, and he'd be fun to watch in the black and gold.
Yeah, I'd bring Tom Brady back from retirement before I'd call Cam Newton.
I don't know if he's even allowed to play because he's a part owner in the Raiders.
He shouldn't be allowed to do announcing because those guys do like in-depth research behind the scenes, so he gets inside
So
information.
he actually has restrictions from what he's allowed to do as an announcer. And that's why some of his commentary sometimes seems so generic.
He better.
It's not like it's gonna help. He owns the Raiders, dude. What are the Raiders gonna do? Lose to the Patriots in a bullshit ass call? Like, get the fuck.
I don't think they'll be competitive for the division title this coming year, but
I don't think they're ever going to be competitive for the division. I think the
just a
Raiders
tough
are
division,
literally
man.
the most poverty of poverty franchise.
No, that's the Bengals. That's the Bengals.
The Bengals at least have people that you like. Like Joe Burrow's cool. He's literally called Joe Cool.
They're speaking just like poverty perspective, though. I mean, their players.
They just went to a Super Bowl like 4 years ago. What are we talking about right now? They played against Matthew Stafford. They only lost because Stafford cheated. No, I'm just kidding. Stafford didn't cheat. The Rams won that game, but it was like a one possession game.
I'm saying that
poverty
the owner doesn't invest.
Don't lose the Super Bowl by one possession.
I'm saying the owner doesn't invest in the players or the facilities.
You're talking about literal poverty. No,
yeah, literal poverty.
I'm talking about no matter what this team's
the definition of the word. Yeah, that's what I thought we were talking about.
The fiscal definition of the word poverty. You think I'm talking about the economic success of the Cincinnati Bengals?
Or just the willingness of the owner to shell out some cash to keep good talent. And the lack thereof makes them a poverty franchise.
Here's the problem. They put what 50% of their cap space into 3 players?
Yeah.
And then one of them walked?
Yeah, they didn't pay him enough.
What do you want them to do?
I want them to pay a defense to help Burrow out.
Well, you can't pay a defense when you try to spend that much on a receiver.
The coach doesn't. The owner doesn't want to pay regardless. He just doesn't pay.
Well, it sounds like he's just a cheap son of a bitch. But
that's what I'm saying. They have like a practice field that's like got dirt patches all over it that they go.
I was just about to say, are we surprised with Cincinnati being that? Yeah, okay, sure. Cincinnati is poverty in their economic endeavors. I am referring to a team who, no matter who is on their roster, is never going to do shit. Never has done shit. Never will do shit.
Is that the Browns?
Well, they're on the list too.
Yeah.
But I was talking about the Raiders.
The Jaguars. Are they on that
For
list?
all that just win baby shit, they really don't do a lot of fucking winning. At all.
It is
not even regular season games. Free Max Crosby, by the way. I know he had a chance to get out and he chose to stay in because he's like rehabilitating or whatever. But like, bro, we believe in you that you can stand on your own in society for a team that will get you real success. Free Max Crosby.
I was going to say it's getting kind of late here and I got to get up early tomorrow. So then we'll call it.
All right. Just to kind of wrap it up, though, I do need to reiterate how excited I am about Malachi Fields. And if there are opportunities to look for him in fantasy, I do urge you to consider him in the later rounds.
Oh, we'll be drafting. Yeah, we'll take him some. Yeah. I think he's got good opportunity, at least in terms of target competition. I don't know when Neighbors is getting back. I think I saw like week 1 reports. But his knee damage was the kind that took other ligaments with it. So I don't know how healthy he's going to be. He might not be fully up to speed. Losing Wandale means the 10 targets a game that he's gone with. And now you have Theo Johnson and Isaiah Likely, a tight end. He's just got a vacuum, a void to compete with. They have like Darnell Mooney. I don't think I'm missing anybody else there of relevance. Just not a very good room. So yeah, Malachi Fields is going to have all the opportunity to succeed there. And I think he's a really talented player. I also think he didn't get a chance to shine his last year at Notre Dame, despite shining the previous year. I can't remember who went. I think it's Georgia State, maybe.
Well, again, every game I watched, there was an abundance of Malachi Fields' name being, and this is like when I say every game I watched, I mean Dad's blaring Notre Dame games.
Well, he was their number 1 receiver, but he didn't get a chance to shine like a true number 1 would because they had Jeremiah Love and Jadarian Price in the same backfield. So you could just beat up kids like up front.
Sure, but I'm just saying you couldn't watch a Notre Dame game without hearing your share of Malachi's name.
Yeah.
And it's not Notre Dame played some tough competition this past year.
He's a player I haven't drafted at all, but when we do our draft this summer, we'll mix
all the way up through their playoff snub, I should say. But Notre Dame played a hell of a season, and Malachi Fields is a huge part of that. I do agree with you that he was overshined by Price and Love.
Yeah.
Both obviously going in the first round. Kind of unexpectedly, Price at 32. I thought he was going to get taken a little earlier, but I guess other teams just had other priorities. And
it's a good
Seattle
conversation to close on with Price. I got a lot of thoughts here, but you didn't think he's worth the end of the first round?
thought he was going to go earlier.
Wow. So I from the eye test think he's worth a first round pick. But almost universally, there were some rumors he'd go 32nd to the Seahawks. They just lost Kenneth Walker. Charbonnet's out, ACL tear in November. So he's probably out at least half the season, probably like week 8. And if he's like half speed, we'll see.
Yeah.
It's a big vacuum of touches. It's just George Holani and Emmanuel Wilson.
For sure. I wanted him in Dallas, but we don't have the draft picks to spare like that.
No,
I thought
when I watch Price, it's like a freight
we
train.
trade up in the second round, maybe we would take him, but
Price like stands out when you watch him play. He's physical and he's fast and he gets to it. I really like him as a runner. I haven't seen him catch a lot of passes, and he shared a backfield with Jeremiah Love, so he's not going to get a lot of work. We haven't seen him as like a 20-touch guy, but I have no I can easily see this guy getting.
Well, no, we did see him because Jeremiah Love tore his ACL, and Jadarian had to take over as the RB1 throughout that time.
Well, this was this last year.
No, their sophomore-ish year, I think. They were on a playoff run, and Love tore his ACL. Price was the lead back pretty much the whole rest of the time that he was out.
Okay.
But that's all to say. Price has spent time as the RB1 out in Notre Dame, and the team was just successful. I should say more so successful, actually, because they made the playoffs instead of getting snubbed.
Yeah, that was messed up.
I guess losing your conference championship is worth getting a playoff spot nowadays. It used to knock you out of BCS contention, but now it's worth playoff spot. Go Bama though, right?
Yeah. I'm psyched Jadarian Price got taken there. Him and Mike Washington.
Yeah.
What's up?
It's my favorite spot for him.
Yeah. Seattle. It's the best because the strong defense put him as the goal line back.
Yeah.
By default.
I think he's going to take a ton of the volume. I think we're going to see Jadarian Price take over as RB1, true RB1, 20-ish carries a game, 4 to 5 targets in the passing game.
I don't think he'll get that involved in the passing game because Kenneth Walker wasn't even involved like that much. Kenneth Walker would catch 3, but he'd house 1 occasionally.
But there's no other running back solidified in Seattle.
Holani can be a pass catcher to some extent. I think he'll catch like 2 to 3, but they don't throw to the running backs a lot anyways, is what I'm saying.
Oh, probably just because Charbonnet was hurt, but
and you can just run the ball. Like they have a good enough offensive line and their defense is so dominant, they just tend to take the life out of you.
And a lot of their runs, it's just a straight up like off tackle stretch that Kenneth Walker was like, oh, I don't like the tackle. I'm actually going to go off the guard this time. Or, oh, I don't like any of this. I'll string it out. Like it was just beautiful gap, like horrible gap discipline by every single defense they played, or beautiful offensive line and upfront play and really good receiver blocking as well for them. And I mean, with JSN and DK Metcalf, you are going to be getting some good blocking from the receiver position.
Yep.
So
I like the landing spot for him. I think a lot of people felt it was too rich to go first round capital for him, but I believe in the player and the talent. I think he's
100%. 100%.
I got 10% of them on both Underdog and DraftKings, so I've been ready. I've been taking him like from pick 120 all the way up through 100. I think he's very good back there.
I would keep doing that. And for those playing season-long fantasies as well, not just best ball, but like in your leagues and stuff, do look for Jadarian Price as the rounds get a little deeper. RB1 in Seattle is absolutely a position you want to have.
Yeah, I think. Yeah,
I would even look at the middle rounds. I
I
would
think it'd
say
be like round 8 or round 10.
I was just about to say, I was like initially, like when I first made that statement, I was thinking maybe around 13-ish. But as I finished it off, I was like, no, maybe start looking for him around round 7 to
Rookie
round.
running backs get hyped, so he'll rise a little bit, I
But it's
think,
not only
but
that rookie running backs get hyped. There's no film on these dudes. These guys literally come in and just do work. I mean, when we've seen rookie running back after rookie running back, especially when they're drafted in the first round and this high, just play really, really well.
yeah, I thought you know who he reminds me of is Quinshon Judkins.
I
The
do
way I
like the
watched
comparison. Judkins is really good.
Judkins last year, like that same just ferocious, just punch you in the mouth, but still he's upfield like 10 yards
And
before
he's
you know,
fast.
you
And
know?
it's
Yeah.
fast too. I mean, you know what? Oh man. Yeah, I don't know. We could be watching some really special stuff as far as these two Notre Dame running backs go.
Well,
Huge fan
Love's
of
get to the passing volume too on top of it. So I think it'll be night and day fantasy wise. Like I think Love's probably like full PPR 17 points a game or something.
well,
But
Love you
like
should probably be looking for in the first few rounds of a draft. And I'm talking like you might want him in the first round of the draft.
he goes
But
at pick 16. He goes right around Marion Hampton, Saquon Barkley, before Henry and Chase Brown, but after
yeah,
those other guys.
it depends on the configuration of your
After
team.
Genty, after A Chain.
I would be drafting him before Genty and before a chain because I don't know if a chain's gonna play
How
a
about
full.
James Cook? Would you take James Cook over Love?
No,
Because Cook goes like pick 10 or pick 11 or pick 12, somewhere in there, and Love goes like pick 16.
I might. I think I would pick Jeremiah Love.
I've been going Cook, but
I
then
would go
Love is
like
my immediate next running back. I have Love over A Chain because I don't think A Chain is going to finish the season. I think Miami's going to shut him down early.
I guess it would depend. If McCaffrey's off the board,
Oh, McCaffrey goes
and
like pick 5 or 6.
if Derrick
He's
Henry's
the first
off the
running back
board,
off.
the
No,
right
it's
now, going off the top of my head right now, maybe I don't have a list of all 32 running backs in front of me,
running back.
but
Yeah.
Off the top of my head, the only two that I'm really going to take ahead of him are Derrick Henry and Christian McCaffrey.
Ahead of Price or just our Jeremiah Love?
Of Love, yeah.
So the
Of
top
Price,
round right now
of
is
Price, I would take him after Williams, but before anybody
well,
else.
I forgot these two dudes existed too, but Bijan Robinson and Jahmyr Gibbs. Taking
I'm
those two guys.
I'm going to take Love over Bijan and Jahmyr Gibbs.
Not over Gibbs, man. Gibbs is a solo show, and the Lions is just a better offense than the Cardinals are going to be.
Do you
And
think he'll
Gibbs,
be able to run the because I mean they've had a kind of two-headed monster going for a little while. Do you think
we're
he's going to be
assuming
able to
health.
take over?
We're assuming health, and assuming
Okay.
health. I
So
think Gibbs.
just assuming full 17 games.
Yeah. But the problem with the Cardinals again is that they just brought in Algier, and they have James Conner still. And I think both those guys will take a meaningful amount of work away from Love, not be better than him. And I think Love will outstandingly outplay them, but I think it will cost Love like 5 carries that Gibbs is going to get and 5 carries that Bijan's going to get because neither of those guys have viable backups now. Bijan has the stiffest competition with Brian Robinson.
But he plays on such a bad offense.
Yeah, but that's why I think Gibbs is still easily. But and then you could say the same thing about Love though. He plays on a bad offense.
But it's an offense with a lot of exciting things happening around it. And it's a new offense. That's more where I'm coming from with it too. It's a new offense, and let's be realistic about who they're going to have to run it through.
Yeah,
Carson Beck.
At the end of the season, yeah, I think Brissett will get at least the first half.
But that's what I'm saying. So if the quarterback ceiling is Carson Beck at the end of his rookie year, I got a feeling the legs of Jeremiah Love are going to be carrying a lot of the weight.
Well, yeah, so but it also means the offense is going to stall out, less opportunities on the goal line. Certainly less than Bijan and Gibbs are going to get.
I don't know. Atlanta's offense is bad.
I think both will be fine. I think they're easily the RBs 1 and 2.
I think
McCaffrey
Atlanta's
could be the
offense
real
is bad.
debate there because I
The
don't think
thing
he
is
could
that
get
with
some
all
volume.
three of these guys, though, they're their own yard generators. Like it's not like they really need the offense to carry them down the field. There are going to be drives where they're going to have 40 yards on the ground themselves, and not just like infrequently either. There's going to be a regular case for all three guys pretty much all year, assuming the offensive lines are not total shit.
Yeah.
But I mean, Arizona is doing some work on their offensive line. Atlanta, I haven't looked at their draft at all.
Maybe we can do like a ranking show or something just to say what order we would put these running backs because I tend to think of these in best ball pricing, like by value. But it's also interesting to think of them just like who's a better pick,
like as football players. Well,
just like who's a better running back, like for your fantasy team, but not necessarily in the best ball price.
It's really more just about the configurations of your team. If you go volume based, I think you're going to want Jeremiah Love. I mean, you're not going to miss with Bijan or Jahmyr Gibbs, but I think you're going to want the guy who's got literally nobody else on the offense.
A lot of people end up taking a receiver round 1 because the difference in like I don't know, the difference between Justin Jefferson and then like George Pickens is huge.
Yeah, you're right. Justin Jefferson is terrible and George Pickens is great.
Or Amon-Ra St. Brown and Nico Collins.
The apt comparison is CeeDee Lamb and Ryan Flournoy, bro. Because if you don't draft receivers early, you're not getting a good one.
Yeah. So a lot of people go elite receiver right
that
away.
Being said, if people do go elite receiver earlier, you go young receiver, you go unproven receiver, you go high ceiling receiver, and you get solid running backs and you kick their ass that way because that's what's different.
Yeah.
And I mean, dude, in all honesty, and as far as running backs go, there's probably like 12 solid running back ones this year.
Yeah. And I think that extends out pretty far too, farther than people are willing to say. Like DeAndre Swift, if they're not in competition, that guy's scoring 200 points again this year.
And this is just from a pure fantasy perspective. This is just volume in carries and targets in the pass game. So keep in mind, if you're drafting from bad teams, you're going to need guys who are catching passes.
Yeah, or scoring.
They're going to be playing from behind a lot. They're going to be playing from behind the whole second half of the game.
Yeah,
they're going to need to catch some passes. So it's all about the team configuration you want to do based on where you want to draft these guys. I think you said it earlier, Jeremiah Love is going to get a lot of pass work, and Arizona in and of themselves is going to be playing from behind quite a bit.
Yeah, I'm hoping for a redo of last year, basically. That's what I'm hoping for Arizona.
Well, a little more exciting, obviously, because they're retooling. Like they've got.
I don't want it. I just wanted to do what exactly they did last year. That was great.
I don't want Arizona to be good. I don't like them, but I'm just saying this is realistically what's going to happen with the moves that they made. They'll look pretty solid. Well, it's weird. They're in a tough division.
Yeah.
5 to 7 wins for Arizona, being generous on that 7.
That seems generous.
Being generous on that 7. But I think 5 wins is a feasible goal for them this year.
I don't think they get to 7. I think 5's like this stretch, but we'll see.
I think 5 is a real goal for this team based on the offseason, the first few rounds of the draft. I think 5 is a real goal for this team. And 5 is good because you want pass catchers in fantasy, especially if you're playing in PPR. I'm not saying look at the Arizona offense, but I am saying don't fade them. You're going to have McBride, Harrison, Wilson.
They all have good prices to me except for McBride.
I'm sure he'll be backed up because tight ends at such a premium right now. There's only 8 in the league who are worth a shit.
It's just that he was peak. He was the guy last year. Like he was awesome. Like I think you're buying the ceiling. I think the same thing for JSN for the record. But hey, let me get to bed. I got to be up in like 3 hours.
All right.
And I got to drive to Austin. So.
Oh Jesus. All right, guys. Well, that's the second edition of the Rowdy Bros podcast. My apologies again for the late recording. We will do better next time. And by we, I do mean me.
Eventually.
Signing off. This is the Goo. Catch y'all next time.
The Goo.